Here we can see in the Paco de Lucia's discography from Wikipedia, being the first album he did, La Fabulosa Guitarra de Paco de Lucia. Not the ones from Chiquitos de Algeciras and those, but as a soloist, this was his first album in 1967. Then all this material here on traditional flamenco up to Almoraima, which had some changes, but bigger than that was Paco de Lucia's Interprete Manuel de Falla in 1978. He kept a very deep influence from Falla as well. And then in Solo Quiero Caminar album 1981, it happened the big change. Therefore, what's considered modern flamenco is from this album on, from Solo Quiero Caminar. And the reason is that after that, all what came here is many different chords, different chord changes, different scales, different structures, combining things. So the big change, or what's considered modern flamenco, means Paco de Lucia, obviously, but it means from this time, from 1980 on. The reason is that Friday Night in San Francisco was launched in 1980 with Al Di Meola and John McLaughlin. And as you know, Paco learned a lot mainly from McLaughlin and from other jazz players, of course from Al Di Meola as well, and from Chick Corea as well, like that. But mainly from John McLaughlin, to whom he kept a big respect inside his head and his heart. He said this personally in many interviews. So the thing is that this album here, 1980, you observe that the first revolutionary thing Paco did when he changed everything, 1981, Solo Quiero Caminar, was after he collaborated in this project of the guitar trio with John McLaughlin and Al Di Meola. So this means a lot, because this is 1980, which means they were of course rehearsing before. Actually they start to play 2 or 3 years before that, as John McLaughlin said. And this marks the starting of the new era, really. So the real Paco de Lucia and what we know as modern flamenco starts here, from this album on. And then, for example, the inclusion of the whole tone is there. Let's listen the first time it was ever played that. Right, so this here is a whole tone scale. So before that wasn't there, right? So when it was used, this scale before 1981, in these albums, Almoraima, Fuente Caudal, and all that, Duende Flamenco, in these albums, here it doesn't count because this is Manuel de Falla album, but in when he recorded albums with his music, namely Almoraima, Fuente Caudal, El Duende Flamenco de Paco de Lucia, etc., Fantasía Flamenca, La Fabulosa Guitarra, none of these one has any modern scale or modern chord change stuff, right? So that's why we consider it only flamenco, or the new flamenco, after 1980, because that was due to that influence with those other players, namely John McLaughlin and Paco de Lucia, took a lot from him. So this is one very important aspect which we should know. Then Castro Marin, also 1981, with John McLaughlin and Larry Coryell. Passion, Grace and Fire in 1982, and the One Summer Night. That's why this here is considered his main work and live album also, so amazing thing. And therefore also it's good to observe that as far as cante is concerned, well, with Camarón de la Isla, as you can see here, the main albums which represent also modern flamenco in cante as well are these 4 here. Camarón de la Isla, Second Guitar, Tomatito. Como el Agua, 1981. So again, after his participation and his learning through this jazz player's experience. Then Calle Real, 1983. Viviré 1984, and then the last one, Potro de Rabia y Miel, 1992. Before that, what he did with Camarón, this Rosa Maria and all this stuff, that was in the old style. That's not the real Paco de Lucia. The real Paco de Lucia is this one here. And here now it started also electric bass, Benavent to play there, with the caja, with different things as far as arrangements of music is concerned. So this here is very important thing to understand, that also Cante Flamenco was the effect that it has to what we hear today is based on this here. In fact, has not evolved further than 1981, although we are 36 years after. But nobody's doing anything beyond this, what Paco and Camarón did in these 4 albums here, which are also marked by this date. So this is very important thing to know, and this is the answer to the quiz number 3 about what is modern flamenco.